What's going on, guys? Hello and welcome back to another video for FPL. My name is Mo and this is my new channel, FPL INKLING. Today we're going to be discussing the captaincy choice for game week 26. It is a double game week, so we'll be talking about what potential differentials there are, who can get the maximum points, who's got the most friendliest fixtures on paper, who's been in the greatest form in the last 5 games, and in my opinion, who I think should be captain for game week 26. It's a very tough week. There are some very difficult fixtures in this week. There are some really strong teams playing against each other, so the table will look slightly different after this game week finishes. But the aim is to get a strong week in, choose the right captain. Effectively, I want to talk about the triple captaincy chip as well. A lot of managers have saved it all season, and this might be the right time for us to play it to increase our ranking and get that little final push we need that can make us kind of like get in the right consistency and flow and go upwards towards the rank we want to finish. Just before we start, please subscribe to my channel. Let me know how I've done, leave me some feedback. I'd love to hear from you. Hit the notifications icon to get notifications when I do make videos and release them, so you guys can get the content straight away and you guys can get all the insight that I will provide with you guys, and I can share any questions and answers as well that you do send my way. I'm here to help, so let me know how I'm doing and how I can help in terms of any questions that you may have in terms of your fantasy football team coming forward. So what we're going to discuss is the potential options that we do have. In this video, I'm going to go through 5 options that I'm going to recommend for game week 26. There's going to be some outside differentials that I'm going to mention as well, and then I'll go through some others that in my opinion could be a great shout for game week 26 to allow you guys to really flourish. In regards to game week 24, there was really good choices. Game week 25, there's a double game week there, which was between Southampton and Leeds. Many of the people chose Bamford, high ownership, over 50%. Again, he didn't get a return in his first game. Let's see if he can get it in the second game, which is in a couple of days' time, and he can get that return. And week 25 can be beneficial for all those Leeds owners for Bamford, or Harrison, or Click, or Dallas, anywhere on the park for them. They are a very aggressive team. They didn't have the result they wanted against Wolves, but that's the benefit of having 2 game week players in your team. If you don't perform in one, you've always got another game week to fall back on. So high hopes for Bamford to get a return in this game week. So let's talk about game week 26. For me, who is going to be my captain choice? So for number 1, I'm going to go through Kevin De Bruyne. Now, Kevin De Bruyne has recently come back from injury. He's played around 10 minutes against Everton. He got a point. I think he did really well, to be fair. Even in that point that you saw, he did get forward. He played a couple of balls for Cancelo, Raheem Sterling, Mahrez. He really linked the play. I think he's got a great chance of, taking on the Arsenal defence. And I know they have been good this season so far, but I do believe that they are there for the taking. If you can get under Arsenal's skin, you're playing at the Emirates. Home or away is not an advantage this season, in my opinion. But however, it's going to be very, very interesting to see how Kevin De Bruyne goes. Are City going to play a striker? Are they not going to play a striker? Is he going to play number 10, number 9, just behind? Is he going to play the holding midfield? I probably guess he won't, but he will be further up the field where he'll be pulling the strings. If Aguero doesn't play, he will be taking set pieces such as free kicks, corners, even penalties. I know Gundogan's been successful. Kevin De Bruyne missed one earlier this season, but I still believe that he can take set pieces. But hey, Gundogan's been in firing form. What's to say that Guardiola will take the ball off him for the penalty spot? But he's a really good chance to get a return from Kevin De Bruyne, and I believe he's hungry, he's fitter, he's not got the lag from game weeks, let's say, that's gone by. And I think it's going to come back, and he's going to come back with a bang. So I'm just going to go through a few statistics, why I believe that make the decision easier for me to choose the players, why I've chosen them as a top 5 pick. So let's go through them together and let you know my insight for this double game week. So number 1, as I mentioned, Kevin De Bruyne. His fixtures, he's got 2 home fixtures. Now that's very, very key. Man City at home, it is a fortress. They like to play the football they want to play, and they are so dominant in possession that other teams don't have a chance, or don't stand a chance really from open play. Set pieces like corners, penalties, free kicks, they have a chance, but I believe that City at home are the most meanest defence. They have the greatest attacking flair, and Kevin De Bruyne is the heart of everything. So they got West Ham at home and Wolves at home, who both, West Ham have performed really well recently. They're in the top four, but again, you're going up against Guardiola's men, and they are favourites to win the league, in my opinion. And I'm saying that as a United fan with a heavy heart, but they have been the best team in the league so far. A lot of people said they were slow starters, but not for me. They were always 2 to 3 games behind every other team, and I was pretty much certain that when they had played all the games and they catch up with the other teams, they will be near enough the top 2 spots. I was thinking Liverpool would give them more of a challenge, but hey, the season is not over. We've got a long way to go, and I believe that there will be twists and turns. But as we see now, I perfectly believe. To be fair, the league actually looks like it will be City who will win the league. So, as I said, what have their returns been in the last 5 weeks? So let's go through it together, as you guys can see here. So he's had a few weeks of injury, but he did have a lot of full-time game weeks before he went off against Aston Villa in the 58th minute. So if you had to judge Kevin De Bruyne, he had 9 returns in his last 5 full games he played, including the half game where he went off injured. So I would say that's 4 goals and 5 assists, as you guys can see from here. And he got a total of 34 points. That's without it being doubled. So if we doubled it, that would have been 68. Again, rich goal scoring form, rich assists as well. He's got the all-round game. If he doesn't perform from goal scoring, he will chip in with the assists for the game. And obviously there's bonus points as well to consider. And in City, I know there's a lot of players who compete for those bonus points, but Kevin De Bruyne is pretty much always at the top, and he usually gets a handful of game week bonus points. So that's my choice for this week. I will be captaining Kevin De Bruyne. Could be a differential. At the moment, he's only owned by 10.8% of players. If he gets a good whole week or a game week, I think it will help my game week ranking and my overall ranking for the game and the leagues that I participate in. So that's Kevin De Bruyne. Number 2 is going to be Harry Kane. So let's find his profile. So we'll go down to Spurs and let's load up Harry Kane's information. So Harry Kane, again, he's come back from injury as well. He's played 2 full games against West Ham United and Manchester City. So again, let's talk about his fixtures. So in the double game week, I think he has the most favourable fixtures. If I had to look on paper, I believe Spurs have the best fixtures. They're playing Burnley at home and they're playing Fulham away. Nothing to take away from Burnley or Fulham. They are great teams in their own right, but I believe Spurs on paper have the easier fixtures comparatively to other teams in this game week who may have a stronger game in one week and not so much of a stronger game on paper in another week. So for me, Tottenham have a great chance to win these 2 games and kind of like get back in the top 4 race. Title for me is long gone. Mourinho won't win the title. I think he'll settle for a top 4 position, and his main talisman is going to be his captain, Harry Kane. Now, he went off injured against Liverpool at half-time with 2 ankle injuries within each ankle, and he actually was only out for 2 weeks, which is quite incredible. People can be out for a lot longer with just 1 ankle injury, but he came back after 2 weeks with 2 ankles that had a knock. So that's really, really good news for all the Spurs fans and fantasy managers who kept him in the team after listening to Mourinho saying that he will be back very, very soon. So let me give you a breakdown of what he got in his last 5 game weeks. He got 0 assists, but he has scored 3 goals. Now, the startling fact is, even though he's only got 3 returns compared to De Bruyne's 9, he got 28 points. A lot of bonus points came into that because Harry Kane led the line. Games like Fulham, Sheffield United, West Brom. He played really, really well, and he was the one who got the odd goal. The 3 goals he did get, it was him who was leading it. So the thing with Tottenham is, barring Sheffield United, they haven't scored more than 1 goal in their last, I think, 7 game weeks. Now, that is a concerning fact for me in regards to Tottenham going forward. Are they parking the bus? Are they looking for wins? Are they looking to get the big game hauls? I know they scored 6 against Manchester United, and I believe they scored like 5 or 4 against Southampton at the start of the season, but that was a long, long time ago. They have shown the determination to hit teams on the break, but I think they've been found out. If you want to take a risk, he's owned by around 25% of the fantasy managers. At the moment, he's quite popular amongst the managers, and I believe that picking him, it won't be too much of a risk. The only thing that I would believe is going to be a risk is, are Tottenham going to attack? Are they going to go for the cutthroat? Is Bale going to be fit? Is Son going to be firing? Bergwijn, you've got Højbjerg. These are the guys who need to actually perform and show what Tottenham are made of. Tottenham need to make a statement. They need to come back with a bang. Mourinho's under a lot of pressure, but you can see so far Harry Kane this season, 153 points, 13 goals, 11 assists, the best striker in the league by a country mile, but the only thing that lets him down is the gameplay. But again, he's on set pieces, he's a penalty taker. Tottenham can get a penalty with the slick players they've got, and I believe that, Harry Kane will be a good choice. Another differential from Spurs itself can be Son. Son, I believe, if you want to take an outside chance, you can choose him. Son and Kane are back in their partnership, so he could be another choice, but he doesn't make my top 5. But again, I do say Harry Kane for certain. Now let's move on to my third option, which is going to be a differential, and that's going to be Jack Grealish. So let's get his profile up. He's owned by 37% of Fantasy Premier League managers. So far this season, he's got 129 points, 6 goals and 12 assists. Compare that to his last season, where in the whole of the last season, he got 149 points with 8 goals and 7 assists. He has been phenomenal. Himself, Maddison, Harvey Barnes, Mason Mount, they're all competing to go to the Euros this summer. They want to make a point, and I believe Jack Grealish has been outstanding for Aston Villa. For a team that barely survived in the league, to a team that has beaten Liverpool 7-1, and they've actually given a lot of teams, top teams I must say, a run for their money. They gave United a good game at Old Trafford, they gave City a good game, losing 2-0 at the Emirates. They've really, really fought hard, and they really deserve to be at the top. They beat Arsenal twice this season already. 1-0 at home, and I believe it was like 3-0 away. So it shows that they don't sit back. They like to score. They've got one of the best defences. So I think Jack Grealish is going to be a really good shout. Let me tell you what his fixtures are for this coming game week. He has Leeds United away and he has Sheffield United away. Now, the only downside is they are both away games, but Aston Villa have proven that on the road they have been a good team, defensively sound, and they're not afraid to give it a go when they play a team home or away. The only good thing is they have a really good setup with Barkley, Traore, El Ghazi, and obviously their Ollie Watkins striker, who's been a superstar this season. Jack Grealish is a main talisman. Everything goes through him. And I believe that with the 18 returns he's had in the first 24 game weeks, a great differential to have. I know he's owned by 37% of the players, but how many of them actually will choose him as their captain for the game week? So it's a nice differential there as well. In terms of his returns for the last 5 games he's played, he's got 1 goal and 2 assists. So again, same as Harry Kane, 3 returns in form of his 5 games, and he's got 24 points. Again, very good points return. If that was doubled as a captain, I would believe that he'll get a good game score for your week. So Jack Grealish for me is a very good differential to put in your team, and managers should really be considering him, putting him in and giving themselves a differential and a potential chance to go up the league rankings. Number 4, everyone's hot choice and favourite has to be Bruno Fernandes. Absolutely sensational. Since he's joined Manchester United, United have never looked back, I think. He's owned by 60% of the managers. That's a ridiculous ownership. The only downside of making him captain is a lot of people will have him captain. And in regards to captaincy, if you do choose the crowd, there's 2 things that come with it. If the player does really well, you will stay within contention of a good rank. However, if you choose another player who doesn't do so well and Bruno does well, you can fall down the ranking because everyone else will gain those points, as we saw against Southampton where he got 17 points, and against West Brom he got 9 points last week because of being the man of the match from Manchester United's point of view in terms of FPL with 3 bonus points. I believe Bruno Fernandes is a really good choice, but is he a differential? I'm not too sure, and his fixtures, again, it's not the best fixtures on paper. They've got Chelsea away and they've got Crystal Palace away. So there's 2 away games again to consider, just like Jack Grealish. United have been the best team on the road since Bruno Fernandes joined the league, which was last January. The run is incredible. United have been brilliant. They've had a few really bad results, in my opinion. Nothing to take away from West Brom drawing 1-1. Nothing to take away from Everton drawing 3-3 at Old Trafford. But I believe they were 2 games they should have won. Again, they drew against Arsenal, where I think Arsenal were there for the taking. Sheffield United was where it all went wrong for me a couple of game weeks ago. They're losing 2-1 at home. That really knocked the winds out of the sail, took away the title chances. Well, they haven't really taken it away mathematically, but it's put a huge dent in United's chances to win this season. So let's go through what he's done in the last 5 games. He's got 3 goals and 2 assists, so 5 returns, and it gives him a mammoth 38 points. So that's the highest out of the 5 players I'm going to tell you that a player has got in terms of total points from the last 5 game weeks. He plays every minute. He's very rarely subbed. Ollie will only sub him around, the 80-minute mark, 88 minutes, 90, just to give him a bit of a breather and just to tactically smoothen things up if there is a game which is tight on the edge. So for me, Bruno Fernandes, no-brainer. He's been majority of the games for me. He's been captain this season. Maybe I will regret it after this game week that I didn't choose him. But again, as I said, if he's got 60% ownership, a lot of people will manage him. If he gets, let's say, 9 points in a week, yeah, it can become 18. I'll take the 9 as well. But however, if Kevin De Bruyne gets a really good game week, let's say with 14 points or 15 points, with 10% ownership, that will improve my ranking far superiorly than if having Bruno Fernandes. Again, he's not a bad choice. I will recommend managers choosing him if you don't have Kevin De Bruyne in your team. Fernandes, for me, is a really, really good shout. He's played 178 minutes. He's got 14 goals and 11 assists. He's an absolute goal machine, and an assist returns are phenomenal in terms of 24 games. He's already got 25 returns, so he's practically averaging 1 return per week over the season. Mathematically, makes absolute sense to choose him as a player in the team, but there should be no regrets if you choose him as a captain, and he deserves to blank if he does, because he's had a phenomenal season, not only now, but in the half the season he did play last season. He again got 16 returns for Fantasy Manager. So Bruno Fernandes, again in contention. So if you have him in your team, guys, please feel free to choose him as your captain for this week. What we're going to do now is go through my 5th and final choice, which is, of course, Mo Salah. Now, Mo Salah's an odd one here. A lot of people have criticised him. I don't know whether it's rightly or wrongly, but he always seems to step up and get the points. I remember at one point in the season when I was owning Mo Salah, I was really frustrated when he was benched against Crystal Palace. I think that was game week 14. Liverpool won 7-0. He came on for the last 33 minutes. He scored twice, got an assist, and he got 16 points, got me 32 points. And those first 66 minutes of those games, I was absolutely fuming with Klopp. It was Crystal Palace, he was my captain. I thought I was going to fall behind, but it actually turned out to be one of my best game weeks. So again, never write Salah off. Even if he's on the bench, he won't be benched for this game. This is against Everton. This is the derby. Salah likes to make himself known in the big games. He performs. He gives Liverpool the cutting edge. Yes, he scored against Man City from a penalty. It wasn't a great game from Liverpool's perspective, but you've got to remember, he got the winner against Tottenham. He scored against them. He also scored in the 1-1 away against Man City. He got the penalty there as well. So he likes to score goals. Even the 7-2 hammering against Aston Villa, the team were all over the place, but he was still out there fighting for his team and getting goals and returns for his team. So I can go through his information with you. He's got 162 points so far. He's got 17 goals and 4 assists. Absolutely phenomenal. In the last 5 games, he's got 4 goals, no assists. So he's got 4 returns and he's got a 33-point return. So considering he has not been on his so-called best, according to certain managers for fantasy, I still believe he's a great player to have in your team. The price obviously isn't that great. 12.6 million, he is quite expensive. But if you've got a player who's giving you regular returns, why not? His ownership at the moment is 43.2. That has fallen from around 58-60% earlier this season. But Salah is a fighter. He will fight for the team. He's got a point to prove. He works hard for the team. He's been consistent for, let's say, the last 3 seasons for Liverpool themselves. So why not? Why not pick him? Why not trust your player who's delivered for you previously? So Salah, again, is a very good choice. So those were my 5 choices for captaincy in game week 26, which is a double game week. Now, There are some differentials, others that I can potentially go through with you that maybe be a good choice. Aguero, he's coming back from injury. I'm not sure how Guardiola is going to play him. I am going to look to get him into my squad. How soon, I don't know. I'm going to look at the Arsenal game, base it upon that. If he gets minutes, if he looks sharp, yes, he's going straight in. I'm going to take a punt on him. He's never let me down in the past. He's an absolute asset to have in Fantasy Premier League. Yes, he's had COVID. Yes, he's had a knee replacement. It's going to be, I want to take a huge risk. I want to take a gamble, but it's a gamble worth taking. If someone has performed previously in fantasy football for you, there's always a chance you should respect their performance and back them when needed to be. Another player I should say is Ollie Watkins. Great form this season. Why not? He's got good friendly fixtures, Leeds and Sheffield. If he gets the service from Grealish, Traore, El Ghazi, why not? He can be a good goal scoring machine. You got Gundogan. A lot of people captained him against Spurs, where he got an absolute mammoth return into the 30 points if he was captaining. So why not Gundogan as well? And again, you can choose whoever you like. Bamford, it's your choice. He's going to have 2 game weeks as well. We can check that in his fixtures. He has Southampton. He's going to play in 25. He's got Aston Villa and West Ham. So yeah, again, why not? You can see who is going to be playing and who is not, and who's going to be getting the best potential return. So these are my 5 picks and other differential picks for captaincy. Triple captain, if you held on to your triple captain chip, this is a great time to play it. Play it now, get your triple points, take a firm decision, choose your captain wisely, and why not? This is the time to really pick up, because there's a lot of managers right now that have to redefine their teams due to double game weeks. They've not got chips. They might be getting -4 points per transfer if they don't have the transfers available. It's going to be a very interesting period right now. So if you have your chips right now is the time you've been saving it for, using it wisely. So please feel free to use them and maximize your returns. This is my captaincy video for this week. Thank you all for so much support you guys have given. I really appreciate the feedback you guys are giving. I'm really appreciating the questions you are giving. I will be bringing out a stream to answer any questions, reaction to the game weeks, and let me know what I can help you guys with. Thank you so much for supporting me and subscribing. Before I go, I just wanted to say, please subscribe to my channel. Please leave me some feedback. Let me know how I'm doing. I really appreciate all your feedback and the support you guys have given me. It's been an absolute pleasure. Best of luck to everyone. Choose your captain wisely, and I'll see you guys soon. Have a good evening.